Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Thunder Today YouTube channel. I am your host, Dylan Hibbard, and in today's video, we are going to be going over a few different things. We're going to be looking back on our playoff run and kind of talking about who had me most worried throughout the entire series, like beforehand, during the series, and all that. And we'll kind of talk about who I was most worried about in the championship run. We'll talk about kind of who I think will be on the roster day one on opening night for the Thunder in this upcoming year. There could be a few different options. We will kind of talk about how it's Aaron Wiggins Day in OKC. The mayor, obviously, when the Thunder won and at the parade, he announced that every single Thunder player will have an own personal day. And today is Aaron Wiggins Day, or yesterday was, excuse me. And then we will talk about a possible Russell Westbrook reunion. But first off, we will talk about we'll kind of go back in time and look over our playoff run and our four series and who us as fans and me personally thought who had us most worried, who had us shaking a little bit because Hartenstein was on Paul George podcast recently and they obviously asked him, and it seems like most of the Thunder players kind of agreed it was Denver. And I mean, I think it really just boils down to Denver or Indiana, obviously, because they were the ones that forced them to Game 7. We obviously swept Memphis. I don't think anybody was really worried about Memphis. The Timberwolves, I honestly, for a little bit, I thought the Timberwolves would give us the best run for our money if we were to face them in the conference semifinals, but once we got there, it just felt like we were outmatching them and we were just doing everything better and couldn't get going there. Rudy Gobert was having trouble staying on the court and pretty much playing him off the court. So it really comes down to Denver and Indiana. Obviously, both of them forced Game 7s. You look at it from the perspective of they were very similar in each and every way. How Game 1, Thunder controlled the game the entire time and then collapsed in the fourth and then late and then right at the end. Of course, Aaron Gordon and Tyrese hit eventual game winners to win the game. So you have to look at it from that perspective. But for me, I just think from a fear factor as a fan, I was always more worried about Denver. I think even after the Tyrese game winner, I was still so confident that we were going to win. After the Aaron Gordon game winner, we were down 1-0, and it was like, are we going to get a repeat of last year in the second round going up against a team that is more experienced, who's already done it, and we're just going to fall flat on our faces? And luckily it didn't turn out to be that way, but I feel like most people would agree that just on a game-to-game basis, obviously you can look back and you can look at Game 4 of the finals, we're down 2-1, Game 4 in Indiana, and halfway through the third quarter, we were down by 20, and it was like, wow, we might actually go down 3-1, and this might be over. But obviously Shea fixed it, and then all of that happened. But I think just on a game-to-game basis, Jokic and the Nuggets, even though I knew the Nuggets had no bench, Murray was still hitting the shots. Aaron Gordon was playing out of his mind for the most part. Michael Porter Jr. wasn't doing much, but Jokic was still putting up insane numbers and still causing hectic on the court where, I mean, it came down to a Game 7, and it came down to an Alex Caruso having to face him, and it felt like that whole Game 7, the Thunder were pretty much triple teaming Jokic anytime he touched the ball because they knew that Murray was dealing with stuff. Obviously, Aaron Gordon was nowhere near 100%. He was jogging half the time. So it really just felt like get the ball out of Jokic's hand as much as we can, and it will work out. And we won by 20 and obviously the series. But I'm just interested to see what you guys think. I think it's Denver by a little decent bit. I think Indiana, if Tyrese was healthy for the entire Game 7 and it was a lot closer and Tyrese was in there and that fear factor of him being there hitting another shot, I think you could have leaned Indiana. But I think since he was injured and dealing with all that, I think Denver, for me at least, was the scariest series to deal with as a fan, just on the stress level of it all. But we'll kind of transition into today's thing and kind of talk about what we think, or who I think will be on the 15-man roster on opening night for Game 1 of the 26 NBA season. And obviously, we'll go through the ones that we know. We know we're going to have the starters of Shea, Dort, J-Dub, Chet, Hartenstein. And then your main guys off the bench, you have Alex Caruso, Aaron Wiggins. You have Cason Wallace, that makes 8. You have Isaiah Joe, makes 9. You have Topic, makes 10. And now you have Kenrich Williams. You have... Or let's not go there because Kenrich is not actually guaranteed. But Isaiah Joe is. J. Will is guaranteed. And so now you're looking at it from the perspective of that's 12 guys right there that are guaranteed to be on the roster. 3 spots remain. And you still have guys to get roster spots like Kenrich, Topic. You have Ousmane Dieng. You have Carlson and A.J. Mitchell. And I mean, just from the perspective, I'm kind of interested to see what the Thunder really want to do, because now after the Summer League and seeing how well Barnhizer played and the possibility of trading Ousmane Dieng is the likely factor of there being another trade before we even get into the season, just because of the lack of roster spots, because you're only allowed 15, and the way the Thunder are built, you could play all 15 if you really wanted to, but you're going to have some guys that are on 2-way contracts. I'm sure Carlson will be on one. I'm guessing most likely Barnhizer will start on the 2-way and probably not start on the official roster, but very well could get moved up, moved back and forth, so he will continue to get minutes in the G League and hopefully get some spot minutes up in the NBA to kind of get his career going. But I mean, I think for right now, Ousmane Dieng is safe. I think it's more likely he gets traded closer to the deadline when a team is looking for that big forward or whatever it might be, like we were talking about yesterday. But, I mean, the Thunder still have a lot of roster construction they need to talk about. How I think they need to address, are we keeping Ousmane Dieng, Kenrich? Are we not going to have Barnhizer out there yet? So it's just a few things to kind of keep your eyes on, is the roster construction, how many spots there are with how many players are under contract and how that all plays out. But then we'll kind of get into how it is Aaron Wiggins Day. Happy Aaron Wiggins Day yesterday to everybody in OKC who celebrates. The man who saved basketball, obviously. I made this segment just because I wanted to talk real quick about him, how I think he is actually going to make I think he can make the biggest leap for any Thunder next year. There was a question that was out yesterday on Twitter talking about who do you think takes the biggest leap next year, and it was a picture of Wallace. And I think the 3 main ones that everybody were talking about was Wallace, Chet, and Aaron Wiggins. And I think Aaron Wiggins can definitely be that guy that takes the ultimate next step into possibly like getting starter level minutes, not just I think because he can score at all 3 levels. He's an above average defender. He's just not as elite as everybody else on this team, so he doesn't look as good defensively, but he's still a really good defender, and he's able to shoot the ball. He's able to get downhill, finish with contact, and I think to get a guy on your bench that can do that, and if he played 30 minutes a night, he would average 20. So I think you have to look at it from your bench unit. The guys you need to be playing on the bench the most consistently next year would be Wallace, Caruso, and Wiggins. I think those 3 should be playing the majority of your bench minutes. Obviously, I think you're going to be playing, there'll be 9-10 guys most nights in the regular season just because it's not worth it. But I think those 3, I'm sure you could add probably Kenrich or Thomas Sorber in there now, or a J. Will. Those kind of 3 rotate. But those 3 of the Wiggins, Caruso, and Wallace, I think will get the most playing time and kind of rotate into those starter minutes. So, and I want you guys to watch when Aaron Wiggins does play those games where he starts for like a Lou Dort or a whoever might be injured, he will go out there and score 25 and look like an all-star. So I think out of anybody, he has the chance to make the biggest jump next year. And I mean, he saved basketball. So I mean, what else could Thunder fans want than for him to make that next leap and possibly get into even more playing minutes and make a bigger impact for the Thunder next year? And then we'll kind of wrap things up today with another trade rumor slash offseason thing. And yesterday, the Clippers announced that they are signing Chris Paul to a deal. So apparently, the Clippers are building the super team of retirement homes. Now it just seems like they're getting all the old players on cheap veteran deals and just hoping all of them can compile enough to get the Clippers into the playoffs and maybe into a playoff series win or something. I'm not really sure, but it brings the fact of now you have Lillard back in Portland, you have Chris Paul back in LA, in Los Angeles. Now the rumors are starting to spike up of, are the Thunder going to re-sign Russ? Are they going to get a reunion now, especially with the Thunder, that number one contention, looking to go back to back? Can they get Russ one more ring? Get a ring, sorry, not one more, get a ring before he retires. And I mean, I think everybody in the anybody who's been an OKC fan would absolutely love this. Not only to be able to get the fan favorite all-time Thunder a ring, but just everything he did for the city in the beginning days and sticking through it all, and knowing that the best thing for this franchise was for him to request a trade, get more assets, and now rebuild it to where we are today. So I think no Thunder fan would say no. I think they would be like, if it's just a veteran minimum, maybe a 1-year deal, hopefully get this championship this year, go back to back, and get Russ that ring. I think anybody and everybody would absolutely love this, and I think I'm interested to see if they were to do it, if Russ would be like, I want to get consistent minutes, because once again, that's adding another guard on top of all the guards the Thunder already have. And I mean, we talked about it yesterday, they already have 7. And if you got Russ, obviously that would make it 8, and you're 8 deep in guards. And is Russ going to be like, well, if you sign me to this, I want to be getting at least 10 minutes a night. So now that means you're pushing another younger guy back on playing minutes and possibly not developing like you want. So, I mean, there's obviously a bunch of different things that could happen. I mean, it could be very well at the end of the week, Russ is on the Thunder, and it's like crazy, and now it's going to feel like a fever dream. But it's just something to kind of keep your eyes on now. Now people are talking about it. I think there's a very realistic chance that if he's just like, I want to come back on the veteran minimum, blah, blah, blah. I just want to be the energy guy, kind of help the young guys, blah, blah, blah. And I think that could very well help not only let everybody fall in love with Russ again, but let Russ get that ring, let him help develop all these young guys, and just kind of have that reunion in OKC. But let me know what you guys think down below. Looking back at it, do you guys think it was the Nuggets series, the Pacers series that had you most stressed out? Maybe it was one of the other two. Maybe it was Minnesota for some reason. But let me know down below what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.